Been wondering what's inside Shatterpoint? Should you buy the core set? Should you buy it at all? Let's take a look inside. Hi and welcome to Tabletop Gaming. My name is Charlie and we are the home of Tabletop Gaming magazine, a fabulous, if I do say so myself, magazine talking about things, board games, card games, miniatures, RPGs and the like, and we've recently done a Star Wars issue, which means I now really want to play Shatterpoint. So join me as we do an unboxing today to find out just what you get when you purchase the core set. Is it enough? Should you buy more? Let's have a look and see. So this big old box is going to set you back about £165 at retail cost. Now, a quick Google meant I could find it probably for around 115, so we're coming down, but I want to know if it's worth it. Now the size of the box fills me with confidence. I think there's enough in here that's going to justify why that's the case. And looking at this, we're talking all miniatures. So I think we're going to do okay here, but let's get inside and have a look at what we've got. Now, if you're not familiar with Star Wars Shatterpoint, it is a skirmish game made by Atomic Mass Games. Now, Atomic Mass Games are basically the miniatures professionals of Asmodee, who are the big professional distributors. Now, that means that not only have they got Star Wars Shatterpoint, which is their own, but they also inherited things like Star Wars Armada, Marvel Crisis Protocol. All of these things are under them. So if we say they know miniatures games, we mean they know miniatures games. This one specifically is very much influenced by the animated series, which means if you're a fan of the Clone Wars and the likes, this is a really good option for you. And that's also the reason why it's a skirmish game rather than a much bigger table battle game, and that's simply to keep the energy the same. Those episodes are short and quick and frenetic, and the whole point is that your battles will feel the same with Shatterpoint. So, with the box open, we begin straight away with some very nice branding. Something is being held in place here, and is, oh, wonderful information here. So the very first thing we're doing is finding Star Wars art backdrops so that you can photograph and share your painted minis. Oh, I love that. That's such a really nice touch. Logic is just fold it, prop it up against something, and then chuck a miniature on. So, okay, it's nothing too mental, but it is one of those things that actually, if they're encouraging you to do painting, look at what we've got. That's very considerate of what people use these things for. That's very thoughtful. Sometimes you can tell games are made by people who play them, and little touches like that tend to be. Now, we have a whole lot of tokens, interestingly in plastic. I find that quite unusual nowadays, especially in such a well-packaged box. I don't necessarily think it's needed, but you know what? They're in there. Then we have our core rules. It makes me very happy that these core rules are not too bad. They are not a big, chunky monolith of... We're not reading War and Peace, we're reading Shatterpoint core rules. Now, I have had Shatterpoint taught to me at a convention rather than having to read the rules, so let me know in the comments if you've played this before, how you found the rules, are they easy to understand? But certainly there's enough in terms of like there's a quick reference and these guys know what they're doing, so I would very much hope so. With that out of the way, we have a vast expanse of sky, and we're in to the good bit. So I'm not getting rid of anything in terms of packaging because I have a feeling it's going to come up as a necessary thing later. But here we have our sprues. Now, something I love about this is that they also give you terrain. You don't just get the characters, you're also going to get a lot of plastic, a lot of terrain opportunities. So when you're playing, if you're you can actually play on multiple levels straight away without needing other stuff. And I think that's what drew me to Shatterpoint particularly, is as someone who is not easily a miniatures player, I will play, but I don't feel like it's my section of the hobby. I open this box and I have everything I need, which is, let's be honest, unusual. Now in here, oh, and it's a Ziploc bag. It's a Ziploc bag, which means I can put it back in there as well. Oh, it's the little things, okay? Ziploc bags, magnetic closures, that's where I'm at. So we won't pull out absolutely everything, but we have at least our little stands there. Let's see what we can pull out of here. These are, I've seen these in action, these are sort of for your terrain. These are your walls or your building upwards, and I don't know what these are, whether they're just there for like flavour of the existing terrain or what, but plenty of bits in here that just look Star Warsy. Now, if you see any of the creations people have already made online, even to an extent the ones that they show you in their own YouTube videos, is that these assemble together relatively easily and look very effective with, I'm told, very little paint, as someone who equally doesn't paint either yet. Stay tuned for that series. Now, with that pulled out, we also have a box here. And if we pull that out, again, I will keep that to separate stuff later. This, I feel, is where we're hitting characters, because these are suddenly a lot more intricate. We're not looking at big expanses of plastic like we are in this one. We are going much smaller. Now, can she get it open? Can she get it open? Ah! Here we go. Some very good cloaks and the like here. So let's let that focus on those. Part of the fun of seeing sprues is always trying to figure out what exactly is this piece? Who is this going to create in the end? Now, as the core set, there's obviously more to come. You can buy plenty of expansions, some really phenomenal ones as well, from everything from Ewoks to your different versions of Leia the Handmaidens. Everything is available, and there are more and more coming out. It felt a little bit quiet to begin with, and then every month it feels like we're getting more and more drops, and they've got plenty planned as well. So your favourite character will almost certainly come out. Now these, we're talking more terrain here, because goodness, wouldn't that make a character. But what's left in here? So we've got 2 full sprues of characters there. They don't look too tricky. I see a couple of clone helmets being like, oh, maybe they'll go together easily. Once you've done one, you can do more, right? It should be fine. And then our last little bit, you'll see a little indented space where this lives. And this is going to offer us, I think, the last of the terrain. But I like how pleasingly it's sellotaped so that it all fits perfectly into the box. Fabulous. We have things like a range guide. This is how far a blaster can shoot. Have we got other bits like that in there? Yes, we do. Oh, I did not know these came with it as well. That's really cool. Some assembly probably required, but you're looking at different ways to measure and figure out how far you're going to be able to hit, depending on what it is that you've got. So is that another blaster one? Oh, interesting. That might be something force related. I guess we'll find out. Now, with our mountain of plastic outside of the box, the last question is, what's left? And you'll see that even though this is a nice little indent, we have more to come out of it. So this is where we will find that really fun set of dice. So you'll roll those, of course, for your attacks. And then we have your little markers, which are on your track. So this is how we get the sort of push and pull energy going between you. So as more happens on one side, it will come back and forward, but it's always closing in. And that closing in means that you have to be quicker. It means that you're running out of time. It means that you need to be better. And that mimics how the animated series runs in very short episodes, very quick actions, and just a lot of fun. Now that's a good way to sort of monitor what's going on, but also who's going to win. It's not always clear immediately. And then you play again. You play again. Now, lastly, we have our cards in here. So 2 different size cards, one being probably I'd describe as tarot sized and one being much larger. We have Star Wars Shatterpoint, which just tells you about your battle droid opportunities. These are interestingly placed around. Oh, I see. It's where you have different variants. I'm with you. So, for example, we have Darth Maul, who has 2 sides, 2 opportunities to him, and you'll see these are almost like your little skill trees that you'll do as you go, so you can play how you want to and how you think your character should. Now, of course, because it's been made by Star Wars fans, the abilities that you have are linked to what your character can do. Would they do this? No. So it's not something you're physically capable of doing in the game. Now, we also have, what do we have here? These are our missions over different periods. So Steal the Secret Plans being one of them. And we play across 3 acts. So of course we have 3 different things. So one of them might be steal the secret plans, and then we're going to need a new exit, and hack the security network. And these are ones that are how you're going to play out your game. Are you going to stop? One will stop you, one will attempt. And I did an interview with Will Schick, who is the designer of this, which is available online. You should absolutely go and check it out. But he very much encouraged the fact that things don't go right in the animated series, right? So you're not always going to go right in the game. You're going to go and try and steal the plans, but realise you've been double-crossed, and oh no! And you seem to win something, but then it looks really dire for the heroes, and then they come back fighting. That's why you're playing in different acts. That's why you have a push and pull. That's why you have a lot available to you. And then certain things in here, I mean, we've got, look at just, I mean, always, the character art is phenomenal. And then just as a side note, this is one of my favourite art pieces. I love it. And then lastly, in that set of cards, well, obviously the characters that you can play with, what they can do, why you would do them. They are double-sided. We have more of that artwork. We have more things to look at, and then things like the costs of those. Because of course you can mix and match to an extent, but you're going to need to put the right people with the right things, and you're going to need to balance that. And who you decide to make part of your crew is important for that. And also, if you then go on from this to pick up your favourites, doing so with different characters with who you've got. Picking out your ideal squad is incredibly important. Now, I think the most intimidating thing about this is the assembly of the miniatures themselves. Now, we've got a guide on how to assemble those, so do Atomic Mass Games, who created it, so I will pop links in the description. Hopefully you will see a video soon of me attempting to assemble these myself, having never assembled miniatures ever before. So if you have any top tips for me, please put them in the description. I would love to read them. I'm sure I'm going to be in need of them, but I'm very excited about doing so. These are going to be my miniatures. We're going to paint them, we're going to assemble and paint them and play with them, and we're going to take you along for the journey, as long as it doesn't go too disastrously. If you don't see a video, you'll know it's gone wrong. But as for our unboxing today, this is everything you've seen inside it. So now all we have to do, assemble, paint, play. I'm very excited about it. Now, of course, this has all sprung from an interview with Will Schick that we did during our Star Wars issue of Tabletop Gaming magazine, of which I am the editor, so I get to ask lots and lots of Star Wars questions. We were talking Star Wars Unlimited, Star Wars Villainous, Star Wars Shatterpoint, and more in this issue particularly, but every month we focus on something new in the tabletop gaming industry. I would highly recommend you check it out. I will pop a link in the description. As always, any questions, let me know, but thank you so much for watching. I hope that this is as enjoyable for you as it's going to be for me. I'm very excited, and I will see you all again soon. Thanks for watching.